The 0 and 9 periods are an exciting new program where CMSD students can enjoy additional learning time when it comes to art, music, physical education, and more. Joining me now to talk about this program is Jeffery Allen, the Director of Arts Education. Well, welcome, Jeffery.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. So the periods 0 and 9 obviously indicate that this is like before and after program. Well, just talk about what kids and families can expect with the 0 and 9 period.
Sure. One of the most exciting things about the 0 and 9 period is the opportunity for scholars to go deep in either art, music, or physical education up to 5 days a week at any given school. That's happening across 60 of our K-8 buildings right now, which is super exciting. So they might have the opportunity to have their middle school band program, or a choir, or a show choir, or a theatrical production, or a running club, or a lifting club, a yoga class, an animation club, a comic book club, a ceramics course. If you can dream it, we can make it happen.
That is amazing. So do the children really indicate what type of interest they want to happen at the schools, or is the school offering it to the students?
It's a good marriage of the two, based on what the skill set of the amazing educators in each building, what they can bring to the table, what perhaps a community partner can bring in to supplement and add to, coupled with what the student interests are. I mean, obviously, if a group of students wanted to do underwater basket weaving, I'm just making that up for fun, and nobody was qualified to do that, we probably wouldn't offer it right away. But the idea is like having that nice synergy between the two of what we know we can offer and what people are looking to get. It also gives us some aspirations. If there's something we know that the community really wants, who are the people we need to have at the table to make that happen?
Wonderful. And you just mentioned our amazing community partners. Can you just talk about some of them that are offering their skills and their talents to our students?
Sure. Before I do that, though, I have to give an amazing shout out to so many community partners that over a year worked with me on developing this plan that we're now executing and making reality for our scholars. They've been with us every step of the way. So, partners like Cleveland Orchestra, Cleveland Museum of Art, Cleveland Public Theater, Playhouse Square, Center for Arts Inspired Learning, Dancing Classrooms. The list can go on and on and on, and of course, once you start listing, you know you accidentally left somebody out. So nothing but love for our amazing community that is working with us in the past, in the present, and in the future to make sure that this plan to make robust arts happen for our scholars continues and moves forward.
Right, and it really all began, I know you said the planning was a year in the making, but it was really implemented during the summer learning experience. Well, let's take a look at some of the programs that the students participated in during the summer learning experience.
So what an amazing springboard to be able to bring our scholars together to do arts projects and music projects over the course of the summer, both with community partners and with our amazing educators. Some of the highlights, there was a group of teachers who worked with their scholars to use art to examine how they can transform the Huff neighborhood. And the students used painting on top of photographs to imagine the things that they wanted to see in their community, and brought that to community leaders to say, this is what we want our world to look like. And what an amazing opportunity to give voice to students, to say, this is what we see and this is how we want to change it, and we're going to express ourselves that way. Our music students having the opportunity to pick up an instrument after a year and a half. Because what people may not realize is that typically it's in 4th grade when you first have an opportunity in music class to pick up an instrument. It's developmentally appropriate. 4th graders who came of age during the pandemic missed that opportunity. So by having a program that addressed that over the summer, kids were able to pick up an instrument and successfully play over a very compressed period of time with some amazing educators. Truthfully, this is really geeky. The thing that excited me the most about that program is I was watching the students put their eyes on the conductor. You can teach technique, you can improve technique, but being able to create that communication where they know where to look, how to follow the cues is priceless. And having that level of excitement, the parents who came out and were saying, we're going to do this in all of our schools, like, yeah, we're going to do this in all of our schools. This is going to be a reality, and we're going to do it. It may happen fast in some schools, slower in others, based on how we build community partnerships and the skill sets that are available on day one versus where we are at the end of the year. I can't help but think about where we're going to be in 3 years.
No.
Today's 6th grader when they're taking these programs and they've been doing it for 3 years and they're in 8th grade, what an amazing thing we're going to see. The leadership we'll see from them in their buildings, and then where they're going to go when they choose their high schools, and forward and forward. And as far as I'm concerned, there's only one direction, and it's forward.
Of course. I mean, one of the things that was amazing is the marching band at John Marshall.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of those students had never picked up an instrument, and within 4 to 6 weeks, they were able to not only play, but also march.
And we have this vision that we're going to continue that program every summer, and it's my hope. And I'm dreaming here, it's my hope that we'll do a unified camp for all schools, and then part 2 of that camp will be your individual school. Nice. So that, that we'll have our CMSD Marching 100 that works for multiple schools, but we also have each school having their own marching band.
Well, it is okay to dream, right?
That's the most important thing. And I think that's one of the things that the arts in general really fulfill for us in our humanity. It is the place where we dream. It's the place where we imagine. It's the place where we push the boundary and say, what if? What if this? What if that? And giving students and schools the flexibility and the opportunity to create dream spaces as part of the curriculum. Of course that's great for kids. Of course that's great for society. Of course that's great for humanity.
Well, so let's just talk about that. I mean, obviously school is about teaching the core subjects, but, art is so important too, because it's helping to teach the whole child and give them social emotional learning as well.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the things that we as a nation have done ourselves a disservice is by referring to art and music as not being core. They are essential. Anybody who spent time in the pandemic, and we all have, we lived for Netflix. We lived for those podcasts. We lived for music. The creators helped us get through this. And we all have that innate ability. We are all creators. Whether you curate your life by creating beautiful images around you and great music, or you're the one who's writing the music, having those fundamental skills as part of your core education is essential and lifts up what you're doing. And it's like when you read a good novel, you're entering into the lives and the minds of another person in a safe way that lets you have that experience. There's no reason we shouldn't be making this a centerpiece of all of our core.
But it's also improving attitudes and moods, attendance, and grades. I mean, kids live for this. Some kids live for this. This is their whole reason from going to school, is to participate in the arts and then do the rest of the stuff, right?
I totally agree. And it's for me, it's the arts. But for me, it's also very important that we have enough programs that kids can find their tribe. Whatever it is that I feel connected to, that opportunity is available to me in school, and that gives me that extra impetus, that extra thing that hooks me in and keeps me going. Whether that's sports, art, music, theater, dance, drama, the creative writing club, the newspaper club, whatever club it is, whatever program it is, as long as we're hooking you in, we can get you here.
I know that, we talk about the pandemic and we obviously want this to be over, but a part of the pandemic that came out of this was the pandemic dollars, the federal dollars that the federal government is funneling to schools to help with boosting up the education. Can you just talk about how these pandemic dollars are really helping to boost this arts education?
Absolutely. The pandemic dollars have really been a game changer, and it's part of the CEO's big bet for our district. A really concrete example, the district has provided well over $12,000 of consumable art supplies to every single art teacher in the district. That is a game changer because it's providing more than adequate tools for every student to be able to use a variety of artistic expression at every single school. We are putting a basic band kit in every single K-8 building so that from day one, we know that kids will have access to these instruments. Now, of course, we may have to get, school X may need 2 more trumpets because they have 2 more trumpet players, but I want that problem. I want to solve that issue instead of we need 12 trumpets. So making sure that everyone has that basic startup kit so everyone can start from the same place gets right to the core of equity, gets right to the core of doing what we're trying to do as a district, which is to have a better, fairer, more just system of education.
That's right, and I am excited to see all the artwork and the music that will come from this and just see these kids' smiling faces as they're doing it.
I am with you because I think that what we're going to see is going to blow our minds.
Wonderful. Well, Jeffrey, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.